the All-Star Game MVP award, but the real hardware that Clippers fans are hoping for is the franchise's first Larry O'Brien trophy. Kawhi's first season in L.A. has been marked by great performances mixed with load management, something that has led to a unique locker room vibe in Staples Center. The New York Times has even reported that teammates respect Kawhi, but don't necessarily love him. So, Shannon, what does this tell you?
Skip, it tells me they're human. And this is what happens, Skip. Skip, we see the teacher's pet. You're in a classroom, and the teacher shows favoritism. The classroom will build up resentment towards that kid. Skip, we see it in families. When a mother or a father shows special treatment for one child over the another, the kids will build up resentment to the one that gets the favoritism. This is what you're seeing. They're like, hold on, wait a minute. Ain't nothing wrong with you. We out here practicing, we out here grinding, because you got to realize, Skip, Lou Williams has been cast off. Trez Harrell, Pat Bev, a lot of these guys have been cast off, had to work their butts off. They couldn't miss a practice, or they're out of the league, they're in the G League, or they're playing overseas. So they have to grind every single day. And they see Kawhi come in and like, bro, what's this? And then Doc says, well, I don't know if he's going to play till the doctors tell me he's going to be able to play. So you build up Skip, there's no doubt denying he's a superstar. He's talented, beyond talent. But you build up a resentment, Skip, when you see a guy and you're going through it, and it's like, bro, you playing? Nah. You practicing? Nah. And then Trez Harrell said something very interesting after the loss to the Pistons. He says, we're not a great team. You have to get that out of your mind. We have two players who have never been a part of this team.
Never? I mean, they've been apart.
But Skip, they're talking about practice. They're talking about all the other things. It's more than just playing in the game to make you a team, Skip. They're looking at that. They're like, dude, just come in. Yeah, we glad to have you. Yes, you increase our chance of winning a title. But, bro, there's steps, there's process to this. And so these are human emotions. And anybody that's ever been a part of something that you've seen, when someone is getting preferential treatment anywhere on the job, let your coworker, the boss, treat him better than you and see what you build up. You don't build up resentment to the boss. You build up resentment. Hold on. Why you mad at me because the boss treat me different than he treat you? They need to point that at Doc, Steve Ballmer, Jerry West's son. But they turn their eye towards the person that's receiving what they consider preferential treatment. Skip, this is just human. It's just human emotion. That's what it is.
So let me ask you this. Had Montrezl Harrell heard that Kawhi Leonard load managed before he signed with the Clippers? Do you think he'd heard about it?
I'm sure he has.
It was like the story of the year last year, all basketball season.
Right.
That's all he did was load manage all the way into the playoffs.
I think this thing is, Skip, like sometimes somebody was dating, it's like, oh, man, she's a problem. Well, she was a problem for you. She probably ain't going to be that way for me. He probably thought he just load managing in Toronto because of that tendinosis, which caused him to miss all that time in San Antonio. He expected to come to L.A. He's like, oh, Kawhi gonna be in there battling with us. No.
Okay. I don't think anybody out there knows Kawhi Leonard's career any better than I do.
Yeah.
Any better than I do.
Agree.
I became a fan of his when he was a rookie, when R.C. Buford, the Spurs GM, stole him from Larry Bird. Remember that? For George Hill. And got Davis Bertans, who's a really good player, also with Kawhi Leonard. So he got 2 for 1 for George Hill, who you wound up, he burned you when he missed the free throw. Okay. So the point was, I know that Kawhi Leonard started load managing when he was a rookie in the NBA. He is his own man. He's always been his own man. He is the quiet man. He says next to nothing to nobody. But he's a decent guy in the locker room. I've never heard anybody say he's a bad guy or, you know, we don't like him or because there's not much not to like because he doesn't say much at all.
It's going to be easier to dislike him if you load managing and you're a jerk.
And you were loud.
I ain't practicing, so what?
Yeah.
If you rubbed it in on everybody. But he just quietly fades into the background. So the point was, Greg Popovich, started letting him get away with it because really Pop invented load management even before Kawhi was a Spur. So Pop sort of coddled him and spoiled him and allowed him to start load managing. And Kawhi's point was, I'll be better for you in April, May, June.
Right.
If you'll let me do this, I will be better.
Right.
You know what? He started backing it up in the playoffs. And he became, many eyes, the best two-way player in basketball while load managing. Then he took it completely over the edge because he and Uncle Dennis, his partner in crime, wanted out of San Antonio. And this is when I parted ways. He was my favorite Spur, and then all of a sudden, he just flat out shut it down on the Spurs.
Y'all tried to make him play hurt.
Okay, but he had a thigh bruise.
Tendinosis.
And it came to the point where Tony Parker, the great Cinch Hall of Famer, Tony Parker, they had a players-only meeting, and they called him out.
Yeah.
This is like early April.
Yeah.
It's about to be the playoff run. And they said, are you with us or not?
Yeah.
And I don't know what he said, but he probably just shrugged. I don't know. He missed, what, 73 games?
He missed 73 games. He missed 73 games. He don't play 9 games that year.
Yeah.
And Skip, you remember, I say, Skip, it's over. I say, he has an implosive personality, which means he will carry things. But when he explode, his explosion, he didn't go postal. He just took his talents to, get me up out of here.
Yeah.
And that's what.
You didn't take his talents to South Beach. You took it to North Beach, right?
Yeah, exactly. We the North.
Yeah, we the North.
And that's the thing, Skip. He's not one of these guys, because a lot of guys, what the hell you mean, Tony Parker? I'm out there trying to get healthy. You gonna call me in here, all y'all around, yada, yada.
Tony Parker, who rarely spoke to the media, called the media over after practice because he was coming back a little too soon from a ruptured quadriceps tendon. It's your thigh tendon.
Yep.
He tore his in two in the playoff game against Memphis.
Yep.
And he's rushing back to try to help the Spurs make a run. I thought they had a chance to make it to the finals.
Right.
And he said, my injury is 100 times worse. He used 100.
Yeah,
and to me, I'm there. Yeah. It's 100 times worse.
And you knew when you
know what? When those words came out of his mouth, it was over. He was gone.
Yep.
And they had their plan in place. We the North, then we the Southern California, right?
Yep.
I'm going home, but I got to make a stop off here in Toronto. And all he did was go win the NBA championship, and you got to give him that.
Yes, he did it. He did that. And Skip, there's something to be said about someone that makes the best of the worst situation. They sent him to the farthest place to where he wanted to be. He ain't mentioned nothing about Toronto. As a matter of fact, they say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to send your ass to another country.
That is correct. That's what they thought.
And he said, you know what? In the process of doing that, I'm going to live like a king. I'm going to win an NBA title. I'm free, and then I'm going to ultimately get to where I want to be, which is Southern California. Hey, guess what? I'm with the Clippers now. Yeah.
And then I'm going to go bamboozle LeBron. I'm going to make him think I'm going to be a Laker, and at the last second, I'm going to be a Clipper. And then I'm going to make
I fought Paul George.
Yep.
I ain't mad. I'm mad at Paul George.
I'll go get Paul George.
I'm mad at Paul George, because Paul George should have stayed his butt at the OKC. Russ would have still been in OKC, and Kawhi would have sided with the Lakers, because he was not going without a second superstar.
Okay.
And they couldn't get another superstar.
So Kawhi Leonard, to me, is the exact polar opposite of LeBron James, because he's polar now. He's polarizing because he doesn't say anything. He load manages like crazy, and he's going to continue to do that all the way up to June.
Right.
And yet, he keeps backing it up, quietly backing it up.
He backed it up one time, Skip.
That's his second NBA Finals MVP.
He's been in the league 10 years, 8 years. So he hadn't backed it up. You make it seem like he's been backing it up every year.
So he made LeBron look pretty silly by leading him on into thinking, did not everybody report? LeBron thinks he's going to be a Laker.
Sometimes that's what happens, Jenny. You know, I've been in situations where the relationship that I wanted, it's like, oh, it broke my heart. But lo and behold, pick my head up,
you were
stuck
let
my
on
chest
it?
out, and lo and behold, something else better came along the pipeline. Oh, yeah, that's how I look at it. That's how you got to look at situations, Skip. You can't complain about the fish that got away. What about the one that you caught?
LeBron wanted two fishes.
Fishes, yeah.
Yeah, he wanted two. Did he not? He wanted AD. He wanted to be over with LeBron.
That's okay. We got one. We still got a trophy fish. I mean,
You did.
Yeah.
No, you did. But now it's a fair fight.
The biggest fish that's ever been brought into our house, my brother caught it. It didn't go on the wall. It went into a frying pan.
Okay.
He caught a bass about that long. It probably was 12 pounds.
Yum.
Well, guess what? The Clippers are about to put the big fish in the.
No. See, they're level to fishes, Skip.
Yeah.
I mean, there's catfish. Who puts a catfish on the wall? There's crappie. Nobody puts crappie on the wall. And then there's bass. Okay, you might put a bass on the wall. And then there's marlin. Marlin, blue and black.
Yep.
See, that's what we got upstairs.
That's a trophy fish.
That's what we got upstairs. That little stuff y'all got downstairs.
Working in the basement.
Y'all tilapia. I don't want you to know you're tilapia. You're orange roughy. Ain't nobody putting that on the wall. Yeah, your carp. You know what I'm saying? Your shad.
They are not
mudfish.
Kawhi would never say this publicly, but he basically said, LeBron, you're carp. When he dropped that ad in the middle of opening night, a New Balance ad, because nobody wears New Balance.
They don't.
They don't.
And they still don't.
Except I do now because he does.
Oh, my goodness.
And again, he said this is now Kawhi Town.
But
that was audacity.
Okay, it's the same thing. Joel Embiid said he's the best player in the NBA. Just because you say something, don't make it true, Skip Bayless.
Yeah, but he's backing it up. And then he goes to the All-Star game in the most underplayed story in the history of the All-Star game. He went and won the first annual Memorial Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP Award. He won it, and he was the one player quietly the closest to Kobe Bryant.
And LeBron gonna win it next year. And so guess what? He'll be tied.
He'll be second. This was the first.
That's okay.
And he did it, and nobody really got it. And he continues to get LeBron and get him and get him again. Yeah. It's that guy.
Your day coming.
So what's the punchline to this? Or the quote?